Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to continue our video series on YWAM core values. Last time we talked about intercessory worship and prayer. So I hope your guys' prayer times have been awesome. So this week we're going to continue and we're going to talk about having a biblical worldview. It's a value at YWAM. It's something that's really helped steer my life, and I hope that blesses you this week. So YWAM is called to have a biblical Christian worldview, and that's one of the topics that we teach in our discipleship training schools. We spend a whole week on it. So YWAM is called to have a biblical Christian worldview. We believe that the Bible makes clear division between good and evil, right and wrong. The practical dimensions of life are no less spiritual than the ministry expressions. Everything done is in obedience to God is spiritual. We seek to honor God with all that we do, equipping and mobilizing men and women of God to take roles of service and influence every area of society. So Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. And by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." You know, worldview is one of our biggest problems today. We get students who come in from all around the world who have had a really a humanistic worldview and not a biblical worldview. And so that's something that we really go after here today. And so it makes sense. We've taken the Bible out of schools. We've taken prayer out of the schools. And that's one of the biggest problems we're seeing in society. And so we need to instill these values in ourselves first, but also in these students in this next generation. That's something that Beth and I have really given our lives to, pouring into this next generation and giving them a biblical worldview. We've seen it as something that's very healing in these students when they understand their original design, who God created them to be, and that truth from the Word of God is something that they can stand firm on. And so that's what we're doing here at YWAM. We're taking back this generation one student at a time. And it's such a joy and honor to see the light bulbs turn on, from students go from darkness to light and really get encountered by truth from the Word of God. So this week I wanted to give you guys an action step. As you spend time in the Word, I'd encourage you to write down some highlights of what you learned, some things that stood out to you, and try to apply it this week. Application is one of the biggest parts of reading the Word and applying a biblical Christian worldview. So I want to encourage you guys to do that this week, and we'll see you next time.